Oh no! I'm gonna ask this. Nina, did you buy your sweats yet?
Videotape.
We wanted to buy Nina a present because she's helped Asian American history. She's helped all of us so much in organizing this trip, and organizing the class and teaching the class. She's given us so much education that we needed to buy her a gift. So we thought we would buy her a USC sweats, but I think she wanted UCLA sweats. Whoops. We already bought them, so we're gonna give it to her anyways.
Just in case it doesn't get involved.
Let's get the ball.
Yeah. And Ray was like, when she was showing us how to see that, Ray was like, excuse me?
Very interesting. Very interesting.
Welcome to America.
Oh yeah, the fruit thing, that news I got.
Because that's what we think, as the sponsor, she's at a conference in San Diego. She's over driving yesterday, but she had to come up.
It's not that big. It's like,
I know it's
Faith in the younger generation.
you guys know who all these people are who said these things?
I know Glenn.
Who's you?
That's Glenn.
Glenn Omatsu. Should we, what's that one up there on the left side?
Glenn, way. But let's say on top.
Nobody rules us, we rule ourselves. Omai Atasi, coming together to survive.
Cover the war.
Omai Atasi, written by Omai.
The voice and sociality and
Excuse me, my robotics is
race.
Robotics. He straight said robotics.
So what do you guys think about these quotes?
I like this one.
Read them.
Courage is something strong within that brings out the best in a person. Yuri Nakahara Koichiyama.
You guys know about her, huh? What about this good movie on her in class?
Oh, you gonna invite us? You gonna invite us?
Yeah, we're gonna see it in class.
It's gonna be OGs, you know.
Yeah. You guys want to say anything on the quotes?
Huh?
You guys want to say anything on the quotes? You have a meaningful comment? Considering like your youth activism, what you guys have been doing, it's most of the time young people. No?
one of those my Wushu
They're
trip.
in a little, like
Okay.
water almost.
Well, I would just want to say something. Don't keep up.
Something.
But about this one, the Glenn Omatsu one, I think is cool because I really think that reflects like what's going on at, what you guys have been doing, inspiring me. The people, not the elites, are the makers of history, and that's true. Remember when my mom had come in and you guys wrote in that papers that she looked around the room and said that it was 30 people who had started, or less than that. She said like 10 people who started the Third World Strike. And we read in the paper, or in the history book, and we're like, wow, we studied it from a perspective that people were really impressed by it. But then we put down our own work, like we couldn't achieve that, because we think, oh, we need to have maybe a college degree, or we're having struggles in our personal life, so that means we can't be makers of history, But it's cool to see it up on the wall.
Well, we're making history right now. Being in Asian American history class, the Asian Festival, the Lion Dance Crew, OPSU, the Hip Hop Forum, all these Asian Pride t-shirts. We're making history as every day goes by, and we're about to make history May 9th again for the 4th time for all the seniors who've been there for so long. And Asian graduation, that's history too. Being the first in the nation for Asian American history, that's big time history.
Yeah.
Actually, the youth actually does it, because that's how it gets started. It's all about the youth, because the civil rights movement wouldn't have happened without the youth. Also, because parents were afraid themselves, and it took the children to get in to jails, and they actually started doing stuff. So.
Totally right. That's so right. And I think remember that quote when we did the Asian American women. You remember, and I gave you the quote Helen Kim. Do you remember that? And she was talking about how.
What about the dust?
Yeah. You remember it?
The long one?
Yeah.
Something about having to.
Sometimes. sometimes being at the bottom is not a bad thing. Or no, how did she say it? Sometimes the one in the lowest in the dust sees the stars most clearly.
Yeah.
Right?
Mhm.
And she was, who was Helen Kim?
Korean first professor or something, or first.
She was the first doctorate.
Yeah.
She got the first doctorate in America in education at Columbia University. She went back to start the Women's University in Korea.
Yeah, that's right. That's
She
right.
was the
She's
president.
chancellor of the school,
Exactly.
and she runs it her way.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the lesson you learned from it, huh?
She runs it her way, her style.
And that's what she said. The people that not the elites are the makers of history, right?
Yeah.
Because when you're in the, she said, when you're at the bottom, you can see it most clearly. So she gave props to that. And to her people who have been at the bottom for so long, she was like, "We're gonna make history."
Well, let me ask you a question.
Me?
Yeah, while you're playing your game.
Pass the time.
Yeah.
That's what they do every day.
So tell me, what'd you get out of the whole class?
Everywhere we
Me?
gamble.
Basically, I just learned a lot about myself, about my people, about my cultures, and at the same time, learned about other peoples like Malamian people that I never even heard about, or Filipino people also.
Cool. Would you recommend this class to other people?
Yeah. It's really important that people start learning their history too, because I know a lot of Asians who say they're proud of being Asian, but they don't know what it means actually. Because usually they say, "Oh, I'm proud to be Asian," just because they're wearing the T-shirt. Even though being proud means that you actually do things about it, like do things in your community, do things that help out your family, help out your folks, your Asian people.
Cool. Alright. What was your name again?
Glenn.
Glenn. Alright. Albert? Albert. Let me ask you some questions, right?
You asking me a question?
Yeah. So are you actually the real bad hustler in this whole group? Or are you just perpetrating?
Pass.
I don't know why they're saying it.
Okay, maybe because you win every single game. See, look at.
Nah, but the class, what'd you get out of the class? What'd you think about it and all that, You recommend it and all that?
What did I get out of the class?
Food, mostly.
Well, it's kind of same as what Glenn said. I learned more about myself. I guess it's like I didn't realize some of the stuff, like what my family went through and stuff, but it just helped me. It just helped me like learn about it and make me realize, I don't know. It's like I didn't realize a lot of like how my parents got here, what they struggled through and stuff. But like all the projects we did and readings, I realized what they went through. And it's like I have to like make good of my life now. It's like they went through a lot, so it's like I have to do better, basically. That's about it.
Cool. Would you recommend this to other people?
Definitely, I would recommend it. It's like it's a. Well, yeah, I would recommend it. It's not. I mean, it's basically if you want to learn about yourself, you should definitely take the class.
Cool. All right. Let's move it on over here. You're gonna be like head covered up.
Yep. Fancy bandana.
I mean, if you want to be like immortalized in film like that, then that's your prerogative.
What did I get out of class? Basically, I kind of, self, I found myself and I found like different views on things, not just one, because, I'm Chinese and mostly, Chinese out of the Asians think we're superior, Chinese like hella racist to other ones, like other part of Chinese, they're like, nah, Vietnamese, nah. My mom's like, no, don't marry them, like Filipinos, no, they're hella bad, dude. All of them, like, men people are like, no, you can't have a boyfriend, no. And then, but it's like, you learn about them, it just kind of like, it bonds the Asians together, we understand each other, and just kind of like open my knowledge to the Asians and what all of us did, not just one little group, you know, like Chinese.
What is the role of young people, like, you know, like in this generation? What do you see as like?
Anyways,
What do you think about all these people? They say that young people they don't want to get involved, or you know they're not interested in doing anything. What would you say to those people?
That's bullshit. Cause we are, you know, we have a lot of energy. And we just need to get motivated.
lots of energy over here.
We have lots of energy. We just need, you know, to get motivated, and we just. I guess it's like learning, you know, it's like English classes. We could just go in there just like sleep, you know, but when we walk into Asian American history class, you know, they present all the ideas and all the info in an interesting way that we're like, yeah, you know, we just, you know, we're like through the whole time, you know, we're just hella juiced up in class.
Cool. And yourself?
Why did I go to the class?
Yeah.
Well, at first I went because I knew Wei and Glenn, and they had been working really hard in the class, so I went. And I learned so much that I didn't want to let myself down, but not taking something away important to that from that class. So I just gained self-knowledge along with knowledge of my ancestors, and it was important to me.
What do you think is the role of like young people in today, you know, in today's world and everything like that, especially in relation to the communities and stuff?
I think they are really important because, like Lily said, once you get involved with the community, like any of us have, you don't quit. I mean, you may get a little burned out at times, but you always think of all the things you want to accomplish, like with that organization or in your community, that you just re-energize and you just keep on going.
Cool.
Anything else?
Okay, go for it.
What was the question?
Why'd you take the class? What'd you get out of the class?
I took the class because at first it was because I had a gap in my period, but then I took it because I didn't know who I was, sort of, and like who or what my people were about, and so I kind of took the class for that. What I got out of it, it was just like everybody else said, like their self, and then their self-identity, and like more pride in who I am. So that's what I got out of it.
What do you see as like the role of like youth?
What was that?
What's the role of like youth in like the community and all of that?
The role that what we play in, we're like, I don't know. But I'm not sure right now.
You're gonna win anyways.
Or like what is it that youth have that they can contribute to the community?
Or knowledge that our community don't know. Like the Asian festival that's being held May 9th, that's helping the community know that there's Asians in Berkeley, and like we're celebrating that month for us, you know.
Cool.
That's
Alright. Alright.
Cause I'm feeling like I just came from like the wilderness.
That's cool.
Let me, like,
You straight came from the
Smooth
mountains.
my hair or
You
something.
just came out.
No, don't do that yet. Don't do that. Let me
Oh, it's too late. It's already on.
Oh God. Okay.
Well, you're gonna do some sprucing right now or something?
Yeah, I'm trying to. Okay.
Alright, hold up.
Tell me the question. I can start.
He's getting all the good cards.
Question to be basically, how did the program started? Who initiated it? How did y'all do what was the process like over time?
Yes, I'm chapstick.
Okay. How was the process?
What was the process like?
Yeah. Oh wait,
What is it about? You asked me about?
how did the whole thing get started? What was the process like?
Okay, I was a member, when I was a student at Berkeley High, I was a member of the Asian Pacific Student Union, and we have been in the works planning for Asian American Studies Department for many years before me. There were people really working hard and planning, and when I came into it, I sort of joined on the committee, and we were continued to strategize and protest and agitate for us to have Asian American Studies at Berkeley High School. My senior year, I was elected to the Berkeley School Board to help advance this cause of Asian American Studies. and we all sort of spread out in different places to agitate for this program. I went to college and continued work on it over the email, and a lot of real hardworking, dedicated people who are still in Berkeley were working hard on it. And now I'm in my second year in college, and I have the privilege of being a student teacher in the new Asian American History class. Should I look into the camera or no?
Oh, it's all good. You can
Okay.
look off to the side.
Okay.
Or not, you like look at the sky.
I'm kind of like confused, like where should I look like?
Oh, it's cool.
Anyway,
I mean, if you want to look at the camera, it's all good. It's not
Okay.
like
It
it's
is
not like
what's here.
TV.
Okay.
Yeah. Don't act hard.
You good?
What were some of the problems and stuff that y'all, you talked about some of them. If you could talk about it again, like the problems that you had, the obstacles that people had to overcome, as far as developing the thing.
Yeah, well, Berkeley, has a tradition as a very liberal community. It was the site of a lot of activism in the 60s and stuff, but it still suffers from much of the same institutional racism that most of all of America is suffering under. So that was our main obstacle, was institutional racism, and a lot of just internalized white supremacy on people who are supposed to be in leadership positions, really pushing down the students' good ideas and good energy. So I would say the main obstacles was actually from teachers and also from administrators. It wasn't really overt, but they did make it very difficult for some of the students to get in the program. I don't know, some of the comments were that, this is going to be feel-good history for Asian people, it's revisionist history, implying that it was not truthful, and that it would be separatist.
Cheaters.
So how did people respond to all that? Like, what did they do to ameliorate those concerns?
Well, I think that we came into it with the attitude that we didn't need to prove this program, that there might come a point when the administration felt like they had no choice but to implement it. But we never wanted to put ourselves in a position where we were proving the legitimacy of studying our own history, because we didn't feel like that needed to be proven. So it was more the power of numbers and of organizing that got it, rather than convincing. So we were able to unite with some real hard-working, dedicated students at UC Berkeley, and the junior college system, and just a lot of hard work and love of a few people.
The youth seem to take a lot of ownership over it. How is it that was developed in the youth?
Ownership? What do you mean?
Like ownership of the class, ownership of the
No, I don't own nothing. No, it's not like that. I mean, if it wasn't for those other people, it would not be existing. I mean, I just happened to be in this phase, and I was the only one this year who was able to. I had the time, being in junior college, to be able to be in the class on a regular basis. So I kind of stepped in and took on that role. But there's constantly people working behind the scenes to help it. People you don't see here. And there was last year when I wasn't here, people took a greater role, and we kind of take turns. And this year I've been lucky enough to be in the classroom and be writing curriculum and stuff, and attending the students on conferences. Next year situations might change. I hope I can be around, but we might need more students to take my place if life situations change. That's just how it works. But students, I mean, the alumni committee, we still have an alumni committee that communicates on email, Berkeley High alumni that are nationwide Asian alumni, and we help each other out with resources, whether it be personal or political resources or activist resources. We try and stay in touch.
Like the program and stuff, like how long term do you think it is? Do you think it's institutional at this point, or do you think that there's still some work needed to make it institutional?
Good question. I don't think it's ever institutional while we're living in this system,
That's fine.
But I wouldn't take that for granted at any point. It's tenuous. We don't have any type of administrative support or a paid administrator that's coordinating this program. It's all volunteer work. And I think we're still a couple years from having it institutionalized to the extent that it's considered institutionalized in the society. I mean,
it's still going to be a couple years. And I hope that the students will keep on pushing their aspirations farther and farther, and keep asking for more and more, because otherwise, as we've seen in the past, it'll just be wiped off the slate.
You were talking earlier about how people had gone up to some people in the community saying like that you needed support, but that you're just kind of shying off. Could you talk about that again?
We've had a hard time attracting support from the Asian business community as well as the Asian and Asian American academy, or whatever you say it, academe. We've had a real struggle to do that. I think that the issue of high school students is not really, it's not high prestige, and a lot of people don't want to deal with it, and I think that it represents a deeper rift within Asian American studies than even the Asian Pacific Islander community in this country. A deep rift between the mainstreamized and the maybe more comfortable in the society and the more uncomfortable in the society out of the Asian community. And unfortunately more of the former group is represented by immigrants who have been here longer, and more of the East Asian group, although that's not by any means homogenous. And more of the second group, more struggling, is more of the newer immigrants, and like our brothers and sisters who have come more recently, particularly from Southeast Asia or from the Pacific Islands areas after World War II or after the Vietnam War. So I think the issue of Asian American studies, just its existence, Asian American studies in an urban public high school, is so new to some people that when you bring it up, it's like you see which side they're on, or which side of that debate within Asian American people they are on, because if they're down for it, it shows that, in my opinion, they are down to have Asian people, Asian and Pacific Islander people all rise up together in this country. If they feel kind of like unsure or scared or not quite willing to support it, I think that I get more depressed about the future of Asian Pacific people in this country. Its very existence raises important questions, and as all young people do, as all children do, they are always raising questions the adults don't want to answer.
Did you just take yours back?
Anything else you wanted to add?
Well, we need a lot of support. We need a lot of support from any caring people, and support, spiritual and intellectual, as well as physical and monetary support. We're really looking at expanding. We've been working with students at Oakland High School and Skyline High School. Oakland High is, I believe, 75% Asian population in a real depressed urban area. And like our brothers and sisters there are really struggling from a lot of challenges. So the Berkeley High students have been working with them to try and lobby for Asian American Studies curriculum in the Oakland Unified School District. Also San Francisco Unified. I think that it's like a movement taking place, and the young ones, like I said, are demanding answers from the Asian American elders and also from, of course, the larger society. So I think for those of us who have some kind of privilege, whether it be speaking English privilege or having a regular job privilege or being more acclimated to this society privilege, I think we need to step up and take responsibility and help us all, rise together. There was the motto for the National Association of, I believe, Negro Women, which was like a self-empowerment organization in the 30s. They said, "Lifting as we climb," and that was their theme. And I really like that quote, and I think that we should continue to manifest that in our communities here in America, and actually the Asian and Pacific diaspora all throughout the world. I think we need to remember that motto and try and incorporate it in every aspect of our lives. So that's all I can think of right now.